Okay, we're here today with Mark Sawyer, President and CEO at Veeco Software. Thanks for taking the time to answer a few questions today, Mark.
My pleasure, Jim.
First off, what are the big challenges for the building industry today?
Keyword is today. Top of mind for everybody, I think, is probably the world economy. The built environment took a big hit this year with it's been kind of tough on everybody from architects to engineers to contractors, but demand for buildings isn't going away. So long term, I don't think that's the big challenge for this industry. I think the big challenge probably is still that graph from U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics we've all seen for years that shows building construction is the only non-agricultural industry to decline in productivity over the last 40 years. So, while advances have taken place in building systems and quality, energy performance, and so on, it's still less productive to put up a building today. So that's measured in economic output per man hour, and that means cost and schedule. I think the big challenge then is how does a builder become one of those people who beats the norm instead of performs at the norm? How do you deliver more value to the owner? How do you improve cost and schedule performance? Those who are comfortable running their business on the averages will lose to those who push the averages and hit better numbers. So it's simple math. I think that's the big challenge.
Okay, and what are the long-term goals for Veeco Software?
Well, if you one way to summarize it is go back to what I just said. I think Veeco has a goal to create the technology that is part of the solution instead of part of that problem. So for us, certainly technology is not the only thing that's going to solve the challenge I just described. I think, for example, alternate delivery and different contract forms is a huge factor in solving that challenge. But technology can play a very key role in addressing this. And our long-term goals center around creating the technology and work processes that shatter those averages, basically, that not differentiate our customer by a marginal amount, but sets our customers way apart in delivering value to the owners and separates them from the pack when it comes to value for their clients. So, building construction for big projects especially is a very complex undertaking. There's a lot there that cannot be routinized or reduced to bits and bytes and computer algorithms, but there's a lot there that can. And I think the industry has not been well served by technology companies in the past. I think all you have to do is look at the tools some of them are using now, what is most predominant, and you would see that. So there's a lot of room for improvement, and our focus is exclusively on this industry and this customer and this problem, so we do get it. And, our goals are to exploit those opportunities for these customers and help them become the highly differentiated performers, highly competitive, and at the same time, predictably profitable.
Okay, and how is Veeco helping the building industry today?
Yeah, well, if you're going to accomplish what I just said, you have to walk a mile in those shoes. You can't do this by cheering from the sidelines. So for us, that means delivering services for hire that prove the point to our customers. Our services group uses our own software to perform their work. We prove the benefits of this approach in the real world on our customers' projects. Now, to be sure, we have customers who buy our software who have gone through no pilot projects with our services group. That's not uncommon, but only because we've proven it on several hundred projects before with other customers. So I think the proof in any approach and the benefit to the customer is really critical, but in this industry it's just indispensable. I think it probably sounds a bit ironic to our listeners to hear somebody from a software company say that it's better for them to perform this and not only make the software but use it themselves as a service provider. But that's just the point. We are a better software company because of it. We make better software. We learn real best practices this way because we perform it ourselves, right alongside our customers. So I think the new Veeco Office Suite actually is great evidence of that. We took our experience and that of a couple hundred customers and pulled it all together in a next-generation solution for 5D virtual construction, and that is the Vico office. I think it's real proof.
Okay, great. And how is the market responding to Vico Office?
Well, I think very well. Even at a time when builders have less to spend on software, we're seeing our existing customers switch over to Vico Office and new customers signing on. So we're very encouraged. I think there's probably three reasons here at the root of it. And just to be self-serving for a moment, one of those is just the applications themselves. We're covering everything from model management and coordination to cost estimating, target cost planning, line of balance scheduling. We're covering the whole 5D spectrum with very easy to use applications. I think we've done a really good job of hiding what can be very complex concepts behind a very simple to use interface. The second, I think, key ingredient in why it's being well accepted is the BIM neutral approach. This is a strategy that we undertook the day we founded the company. And it's taken us a while to realize it, but it's clearly popular with our customers, and it's probably no surprise why. 3D modeling tools are abundant, and they're all pretty good at what they do. So, why invent a new one or favor a single one when customers are already experiencing these tools on their projects, and they've already made some investment prior to us coming along. So our goal is to support what customers and project teams are already using, whether it's Revit, Tekla, ArchiCAD, 3D AutoCAD, IFCs, etc., and that's what the Vico Office does. So that's been critical. I think interoperability has been a large component, and we're there. So, and then the third key point, it would be what we call leveraged integration. That's a Vico term, not an industry term. I'd love to make it an industry term. But what leveraged integration means to us is, if you just kind of step back from the solution for a minute, users create data that benefits them in performing their job. Users don't routinely perform extra work to benefit someone else. And this is especially true in the building industry, because those other disciplines or those other departments are actually other companies now. And so extra work is not in the defined fee of any one member of that team. So it becomes really critical that, for instance, if it were you and I, the data that you create to do your job is actually usable, or better yet, leverageable, if that was a word, as a head start for me to get my job done. And then anything I add to the project data, whether it's embellished data or whatever, is usable by the next discipline down the line. So that's what leveraged integration means. It means that something done in one place is actually a head start for the next guy on the project, or the next discipline on the project, or the next step in preparing the project plan. And I like to think of it this way: if all of the project data is some kind of currency, to use the analogy, then leveraged integration is the money in the bank. When it's integrated, anybody making a deposit into the 5D bank is creating more wealth for all of the rest of us. And that's been a key component of the overall strategy of Vico Office and the integrated 5D approach from Vico.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Any closing thoughts?
Jim, I guess looking at all the issues that we discussed here, we're excited because we kind of have this convergence. Our customers have faced these challenges long enough that for them, inaction is very unwise. The progressive firms are acting decisively, and we feel like we are right where they need us to be. We've got team-friendly applications that cover the entire 5D spectrum. They're integrated and very easy to use, so they work in that leveraged environment that I described. They're proven by us in terms of the services we perform, and by a couple hundred customers around the globe already, so this is not some giant experiment. They're BIM neutral, which has just been absolutely key to solving major problems for the customer. It no longer matters what modeling tool authored the 3D data. And finally, our company, Vico is laser focused on this industry and this customer, so we only get better at serving them. I said earlier that building contractors have been poorly served by technology companies in the past. We are changing that.
Once again, we've been speaking with Mark Sawyer, President and CEO at Vico Software. Thanks again, Mark. And if you'd like to check out more information on Vico, please visit us at www.vicosoftware.com.
Thanks, Jim.